The 1965 American 5-cent coin, commonly known as the Jefferson nickel, is an intriguing piece of U.S. coinage that has captured the attention of numismatists and collectors alike. While the vast majority of these nickels are only worth face value, certain rare varieties, errors, and exceptionally high-grade specimens have fetched impressive prices in the market, with some reaching as much as $1,800 or more. To understand what makes a 1965 nickel valuable, it is essential to explore its design, composition, historical context, minting anomalies, and the factors that contribute to its desirability among collectors. The Jefferson nickel has been in circulation since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Above Jefferson's head is the word "I in God We Trust," while liberty and the date, 1965, are inscribed to the right. The reverse of the coin showcases Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, with the Latin phrase "E pluribus unum" positioned above it. Below Monticello, the words Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America are clearly inscribed. This classic design remained largely unchanged for decades, making it one of the most recognizable coin designs in U.S. history. One notable aspect of the 1965 Jefferson nickel is that it was struck during a transitional period in American coinage. In the mid-1960s, the U.S. Mint was facing a severe coin shortage due to hoarding caused by rising silver prices. As a result, the government made several adjustments to coin production, including the removal of silver from dimes and quarters in 1965. Although nickels had never contained silver, except for the wartime issues from 1942 to 1945, the coin shortage prompted the U.S. Mint to implement new policies that affected the production of all coins, including the Jefferson nickel. One of the most significant changes made during this period was the temporary elimination of mint marks. From 1965 to 1967, the U.S. Mint removed mint marks from all coins to discourage collectors from hoarding certain issues. As a result, all 1965 nickels were struck without a mint mark, making it impossible to distinguish between those produced at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. This lack of a mint mark has created some challenges for collectors trying to determine the origin of specific coins, but it has also contributed to the uniqueness of nickels from this era. The primary factor that determines the value of a 1965 nickel is its condition and grade. Coins are graded using the Sheldon coin grading scale, which ranges from Poor 1 to Mint State 70. A circulated 1965 nickel typically holds little numismatic value beyond its face value, but an uncirculated example in high mint state grades can be worth significantly more. Coins graded MS66 or MS67 are particularly sought after, with those in near-perfect MS68 condition commanding substantial premiums. At these high grades, a 1965 nickel can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, with some exceptionally well-preserved specimens reaching the $1,800 mark. Error coins are another major factor that can dramatically increase the value of a 1965 nickel. Minting errors occur when a mistake is made during the coin production process, resulting in unique and often rare variations that collectors find desirable. One of the most valuable errors found on 1965 nickels is the double die obverse, DDO. This error occurs when the coin's design is impressed onto the die more than once at slightly different angles, creating a noticeable doubling effect. If a 1965 nickel exhibits clear doubling on Jefferson's portrait, the inscriptions, or the date, it can be extremely valuable, with some examples reaching 4-figure valuations depending on the strength of the doubling. Another significant error that can enhance the value of a 1965 nickel is an off-center strike. This occurs when the coin blank, or planchet, is not properly aligned with the dies during striking, resulting in a design that is shifted off-center. The degree of the off-center strike plays a crucial role in determining the coin's value. A minor misalignment may only increase the price slightly, but a dramatic off-center strike, especially one where a large portion of the design is missing yet the date remains fully visible, can be highly sought after and command prices well above the typical market value. Broad-struck errors are another variety that collectors find particularly interesting. These occur when a coin is struck without the retaining collar that normally holds it in place, causing the coin to spread out and appear wider and flatter than usual. This type of error is rare on 1965 nickels, and when found in good condition, it can significantly boost a coin's value. One of the most extraordinary errors that could make a 1965 nickel worth $1,800 or more is a wrong planchet strike. This occurs when a blank intended for a different coin denomination is accidentally used to strike a nickel. For example, if a 1965 nickel was struck on a silver dime planchet, it would be noticeably smaller and lighter than a regular nickel and might exhibit a silvery appearance. These rare errors are highly prized by collectors due to their uniqueness, and they often fetch high prices in auctions. The market demand for high-quality and error 1965 nickels has increased in recent years, partly due to the rising interest in modern coinage and transitional error coins. Collectors are particularly interested in acquiring high-grade specimens that have been professionally certified by reputable grading services such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC. A 1965 nickel that has been graded MS67 or higher by one of these organizations can command impressive prices, especially if it possesses exceptional luster, sharp details, and a lack of significant contact marks. Another factor that influences the desirability of a 1965 nickel is its historical significance. The mid-1960s represented a transformative period in U.S. coinage, with the removal of silver from dimes and quarters and the elimination of mint marks as part of an effort to combat hoarding. Coins from this era, including the 1965 nickel, hold a special place in numismatic history, making them particularly appealing to collectors who focus on transitional coinage. For those hoping to find a valuable 1965 nickel, checking old coin rolls, bank wrap rolls, or even everyday pocket change can sometimes yield surprising discoveries. While most of these nickels remain common, the possibility of uncovering a rare high-grade specimen or an unusual mint error keeps collectors engaged in the hunt. Coins that have been stored in optimal conditions, such as in protective holders or albums, have the best chance of retaining the high quality necessary to achieve premium valuations. Ultimately, the potential for a 1965 nickel to be worth $1,800 or more depends on a combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand. Whether it is a flawless mint state example, a dramatic off-center strike, a double die variety, or a rare wrong planchet error, certain specimens have defied their modest face value to become valuable pieces in the world of numismatics. While most 1965 nickels will never be worth more than a few cents, those that possess the right combination of factors can command extraordinary prices, proving that even the most ordinary coins can sometimes hold unexpected worth. The 1965 U.S. 5-cent coin, commonly known as the Jefferson nickel, holds a unique place in American numismatic history due to its production during a transitional period in the U.S. Mint. This was a time when the country faced a significant coin shortage, prompting the government to implement changes in coin production to discourage hoarding. While most 1965 nickels are common, certain high-grade specimens, errors, and varieties have garnered attention from collectors, sometimes commanding impressive values. One of the most distinctive features of the 1965 nickel is the absence of a mint mark. From 1965 to 1967, the U.S. Mint eliminated mint marks on all coins to deter collectors from hoarding specific issues. This decision makes it difficult to determine whether a given 1965 nickel was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, adding a layer of intrigue to the coin's history. This lack of mint mark, however, does not inherently make the coin rare, as millions were produced during that time. The design of the 1965 Jefferson nickel remained consistent with its predecessors, featuring a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, designed by Felix Schlag in 1938. The inscriptions "In God We Trust and Liberty" appear along the edges, with the year 1965 to the right. The reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, along with the Latin phrase "E pluribus unum," the denomination 5 cents, and United States of America. Despite being struck in large numbers, high-grade specimens of the 1965 nickel are relatively scarce. Coins that have been well preserved in mint state, MS, condition, particularly those graded MS66 or MS67 by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Finding a nickel from this year with sharp details, strong luster, and minimal surface marks is challenging, making pristine examples highly desirable. Mint errors are a significant factor in determining the value of certain 1965 nickels. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, and die errors can make a coin more valuable to collectors. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die variety, where doubling appears in the inscriptions or design elements due to a misalignment during the hubbing process. These errors are rare and can command premium prices depending on their clarity and visibility. Another factor influencing the value of a 1965 nickel is its composition. Unlike dimes and quarters, which transitioned from silver to clad compositions in 1965, nickels retain their traditional metal makeup of 75% copper and 25% nickel. However, collectors still seek out high-quality examples from this era, particularly those that exhibit full steps on Monticello, which indicate a strong and well-executed strike. The full steps, FS, designation is an important grading characteristic for Jefferson nickels. To qualify for this designation, a nickel must display at least 5 full uninterrupted steps on Monticello's design. Full steps nickels from 1965 are rare due to weak strikes and worn dies, making them highly collectible. A 1965 nickel with a full steps designation in high mint state condition can significantly increase in value compared to a regular strike.